Octominer has responded. Guys, look at this. I have the Octominer X12 Ultra sitting on the desk here, and actually I have two more. Thanks to them, they sent me 3, and I want to give you guys the backstory between all this here, because for most of you who follow my YouTube channel, I initially wanted to have server cases just like this, these ones specifically for my crypto mining basement instead of the 12 GPU mining frames. Some of you guys may have saw that video where I explained that more specifically, but ultimately Octominer, we basically had a communication issue, and I ultimately didn't get a quote to buy like 10 or 16 of these. And after that video that I released, 2 hours later, they contacted me because I think there was a few community members who knew the owner of Octominer, and so they contacted them and said, hey, contact Red Panda, he's been trying to get a hold of you guys. And lo and behold, 2 hours later, they contacted me and said they were completely sorry that the communication fell through. And they're like, Red Panda, we want to make it up to you. We want to send you some Octominer cases. And I was like, all right, man. You know, I was willing to buy them, but sure, I'll take one. And lo and behold, he sent me 3 more. And Harry, thank you so much. Octominer, you guys are awesome. This is going to be really fun. So anyways, guys, in this video, let's get going here. I want to do a review of this 12 GPU mining server case here. This is so sick. I love how these look, and to be honest, the reason why I initially wanted these in the first place in my crypto mining basement is because of the red bars and also like the white motherboard's color scheme. You guys can see there, it's white, and so it kind of matched my colors in terms of my logo. So yeah, I'm really narcissistic that way. That's why. That's basically it. That's why I wanted these server cases. So I know. I have an issue, guys. I have an issue. Anyways, let me take off this cover. And this is a really hefty cover. And look at this. Here is the inside of this Octominer X12 Ultra. And it says here, Japanese capacitors, long life, low ESR, designed in Germany, maximum efficiency, ultra durable. And then it says here, Octominer B250 backplane revision 5. So I know Octominer has been around for a long time, and this is definitely not their first revision. I'm sure you guys have seen Octominer cases. They've been different colors. They didn't have these red bars here. I think they were black before. You know, yeah, I've seen older ones before. So this one is their updated, most latest revision, the X12 Ultra. Let me just fire through some neat things here. So they have a temperature reading module here, and then they have like a little LCD or LED screen here that reads the power supply usage, and then they have the SSD slot right here. There's literally an SSD sitting right there, okay? There's a USB in the front. There's the LED indicators, which is like the main control board or fan controller as well. This also acts as a watchdog where it can adjust the fan speed depending on your environment, all right? So that's pretty cool, and it works great in Hive OS and Simple Mining as well. And then we got the power supply, which is hot swappable. I'll show you the back in a second, but here is the breakout board essentially, which has, it looks like 12 PCIe plugs here. And it looks like there's an extra one here, which actually when I opened it up, I was curious because there was one extra PCIe plug that may not have been plugged in, and I do have an extra long like parallel miner PCIe cable, so maybe I can plug that into there if we have issues. I'm gonna try 12 GPUs in this video, guys, so you'll see me plug it in and turn it on and stuff. With these 12 PCIe, there came with in the box already all cable managed. I just have to plug in these 12 into the breakout board here essentially, okay, and then it goes into these dual 8-pin PCIe plugs for the GPUs, and it looks like they're all to spec in terms of length, the cable length, which is really nice. So I'll show you guys that later. Let me show you the back here. Okay, let's look at here. This is the back of the Octominer X12, and these power supplies, there's 3 1200 watt platinum HP server PSUs here, and these are hot swappable, which is really cool. I just have to pull these out, And there you go. And you guys can see that in there. That's really cool. I love that these are hot swappable. I can just take them out if any break. But yeah, this is extremely cool. And I had a thought of, actually I have three 1500 watt HP server PSUs. I wonder if I can utilize these into there. And I was reading online that it can work with like 750 watt PSUs, 1400 watt server PSUs, but not 1500 watt. It didn't list it there, so I'm going to ask Octominer if I can utilize these HP server PSUs, the HSTNS L33. Or if any of you guys in the comments know if this will work in this Octominer X12, let me know down below. And then in the box, it also came with the power cable, and it's basically a 3-prong, these plugs here that go into the server PSUs, into one of these C19 plugs, all right? And so this is notorious for like having it in a PDU, like a power distribution unit. I do have a AAA PDU out there that has one of these plugs, but I'm most likely going to use 3 separate C13 to C14 cables into my regular PDUs, which I'll show you guys later. Here's the I/O, all right, HDMI, we got PS2, mouse and keyboard, VGA, USB 2, USB 3, and an Ethernet port. All standard stuff. And here is the motherboard. It has 2 PCIe slots on here, and then the other 10, this is the back plane that you guys can see here, which is so sick. I cannot wait to try this. And I believe we are using a G3900 CPU with 4 gigs of RAM. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, Red Panda, where's the battery on the motherboard? And because of shipping out of Hong Kong, you can't have batteries in whatever you're shipping on an airplane. So they had to take these out, and so you need to go buy the battery yourself if you want to save the BIOS. If there's any BIOS settings that you change, you're gonna have to buy one of these, all right? But I've had server cases without this, and I haven't had the need to change any settings in the BIOS. So that's something to be mindful of as well. Alright guys, so that is the X12 Ultra. Just a little overview, and it also came with this on the GPU brace, which sits on top of the GPUs. I guess, yeah, we'll put that later, and I think this foam goes right on top. And it also did come with screws and some other stuff as well. I don't know what these 2 foam pieces are. Maybe they're for the bottom to help with the vibration, possibly. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to show you guys is the front here, the fans. Okay, the most important thing for server cases is these are 140 mil fans, not 120. Actually, I got a 120 mil fan right here just to give you guys that perspective. Alright, that's a 120 Noctua fan, and this is a 140 mil. I'm pretty sure these are going to be like high CFM Delta fans. They're going to be probably really loud. And so these are going to push out a crap ton of air. Let me plug in an RTX 3090. This is an Asus Strix RTX 3090. So just so you guys can see what the spacing is, all right? So I wish I had 12 3090s, and then we can try it. But I think the power supplies, even though we got 1300 watts in here, I don't think that would be enough power capacity for all 12 3090s. And especially, I'm kind of worried about the cable lengths here, the cable gauge. They said this is 18 gauge cabling. So if there's only 12, right, 1 for each GPU, and most RTX 3090s require 3 8-pins, this definitely will not be enough in terms of power capacity, cable gauge. I would be kind of weary about that. I know there's been some reports out there, especially from like Parallel Miner, that, you know, one of these cables can go up to 400 watts. So I don't know, just be safe about it. I don't think I'd recommend it, but hey, if people have some screenshots or something showing 12 RTX 3090s in an X12 Ultra case like this, let me know down below, because maybe, well, I don't know, we can try that one day. I don't know if I can get a hand on 12 3090s, but anyways guys, the spacing wise, you can see here, this is definitely a thicker GPU, and there's the spacing, right? So it looks like we can fit another 3090 right there. So yeah, this Asus Strix 3090 is the biggest of them all. And there's a little bit of spacing here between the 140 mil fan right there, okay? Anyways guys, that's enough. I just want to get this thing going. I want to get GPUs in it, so I'm gonna be plugging in, not 3090s, but we're gonna try a bunch of RTX 3060s. Okay, I have a bunch of these single 8-pinned RTX 3060s, and so we're gonna put 12 of these into the Ultra X12. and we're gonna see how that goes. I was gonna do the RTX 3070 Ti's, but I'm actually waiting on 2 more so that we could have 12 3070 Ti's, but we're gonna do that in another build because Octominer sent me 2 more, all right? So we'll do that in another video. Okay, so you guys will see 12 of these 3060s in this Ultra X12 in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we ran into an issue and I wanted to show you guys something before I put in the rest of the GPUs. So this backplane, it had an issue where I couldn't put in the GPUs because this backplane was too far forward this way. So what I simply did to fix it was take out all the screws. I didn't take them out, I just loosened each one just a little bit so that I could push this backplane as far as I can that way, so that I could put in the GPUs. They were just not able to lock in because of the IO brackets on the GPUs was going over onto this side because of the PCIe slots. I just couldn't push them in, right? So all I had to do basically was just push the backplane as far as I could, and it did move like a bit. Then I tightened all the screws and then I was able to put in all the GPUs. So that's just something I want to just mention right there in case somebody got these kind of server cases that you may run into that issue. I did. So anyways, let's put in the rest of the cards. Okay, we've ran into an issue and it's because of this USB part right here that I cannot put in the GPU, and when I do, it doesn't click in all the way. I can see the PCIe slot like open because it's being blocked by this USB header. So I have to take this out in order to fit in a GPU on this PCIe slot here. So that is kind of weird. Octominer, let me know what you guys think about that, because I cannot fit this RTX 3060 because the USB header is hitting the bottom of this GPU here and it's not letting me push it in all the way. So I don't know, have any of you guys run into that issue? Anyways, let me see if I can fit it in now. Okay, so I'm running into a few more issues here. So I have the GPU in, all right, it was able to lock in. I wasn't able to lock it in before because of that USB thing I showed you guys earlier. Now I'm trying to plug in the PCIe cables, and the first PCIe I'm trying to plug in to the breakout board here, one of the pins just came out, okay, going into the breakout board here. So that's not good because there's only specifically 12 of these that go into these 12 ports. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like put that in somehow. Give me a sec. Okay, I got all the PCIe in and I had one hell of a time trying to put in each one. And so the trick was for me to kind of like jimmy it and like, you know, kind of go up and down until it kind of clicks in. I think the breakout board or maybe the cables themselves, they just didn't line up that great on the breakout board here. So anyways, that little bit of an issue is fine. I did have that one that popped out, which sucked. We'll see how this goes. Putting in the PCIe into the GPUs was very easy. That was no problem. That's it. I have it all in. The only thing I'm worried about is this USB part, which it goes into the fan controller, the smart controller per se, which I believe it was this cable right here. So I'm not sure if that's gonna affect anything, but ultimately, if I don't use the watchdog feature, which we can try in another video, we'll see if the other 2 X12s that I have are going to be the same issue when I put in the 3070 Ti's or other GPUs. I'll let you guys know when that happens. Anyways, let's plug it in. Let me put on the cover. I gotta put in the metal brace here for the top of the GPUs, and you guys will see it out there in a sec. Here we go. Okay, I have it in my basement here. You guys can see, and this is my test 240 volts, 30 amp. Well, we're at 233 volts right now and not using much power, but I do have a single PDU plugged in, and I have the power cables, the 3 C13 to C14 going into the HP server PSUs, 1200 watts each, okay? And this is a backplane that's controlling all of these PCIe here. Hot swappable, by the way, as well, which is really cool. Okay guys, so let's do it. I'm a little bit scared to turn this on. Actually, if I have the PDU off at the moment, so if I hit this switch, I wonder if this whole thing is gonna turn on. It's gonna be extremely loud with these fans. I'm gonna have the cover off because I just wanna make sure there's no smoke or anything like that, especially over here. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, I think it's on. The GPU fans are moving. All of them are moving, that's good, except for these two. These two GPU fans are not moving. Oh, okay, I wonder if that's an issue. Those two GPUs on the motherboard are not working, but the back plane is working. These back ones are working. Okay, so I forgot to plug in a monitor and a keyboard, all that stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, I got the X12 Ultra running, and first things first, when I turn it on, alright, I turned it on by the PDU, and the whole thing came up, but only the first 10 GPUs came on, the ones that were on the back plane. And so now the other two GPUs here that were on the motherboard were not turning on because the main board didn't turn on. And so there is actually a power button right there on the motherboard, and that turned on the other two GPUs and I guess the CPU as well, because nothing came on the screen up until now. But now it went into HiveOS and we're having a lot of issues here, and it's not updating. It says here failed to register device, and yeah, I think we're having some issues here. And also the LED hasn't turned on, but when I press the button here, it like restarts and it comes back on, but then it goes back off again. And yeah, I'm having some weird intermittent issues. So far, I'm not having a great start with this Octominer server case. I'm kind of sad. But you know what? I'm gonna try to add the 6th final PCIe power that we have one spot left that wasn't plugged into the back plane. I don't know if that's gonna fix it or not, but let's try. It's restarting right now. And yeah, it actually does a couple restarts before it goes into HiveOS. I found that kind of strange. You guys just saw it flash right there. All right, so let me try a few things and I'll be right back. Okay, I added the extra power cable that I had laying around and turned it on, and it did the same thing. Wouldn't recognize any of the GPUs in HiveOS. So I decided to take out the SSD, put one of my own with the latest version of HiveOS, and lo and behold, it works. There you go. I can see 12 RTX 3060s. You guys can see, and I don't have any errors. I didn't have any errors or anything. So I had a brand new HiveOS SSD and it worked. I should have just used the existing one that they had initially in the system. Look at this, there's no brand on it or anything. But I had a Kingston one and I decided to use that, and it looks like it's working now, and there's some specs on this little LED. It's come up now. And the cool thing is, when it started loading in HiveOS here, it showed that it found the watchdog for the Octominer fan, auto fan thing and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. I guess I can try that out. All right, so it's in HiveOS. I can probably see it in the web GUI. Let's just see. Okay, so it's on now for the past 2 minutes, and we can see 12 RTX 3060s. I haven't set any overclocks, or I haven't set any flight sheets or anything. And another cool thing, it shows the external fans here from the Octominer fans. That's actually really cool. And it's got a bunch of other sensors here, temperature sensors, intake, exhaust. Okay, this is actually really cool. All right, so it looks like it's working in terms of, I can see the Octominer case and the CPU and the SSD and all the GPUs, so that is good. Let me go ahead now and add the overclocks and a flight sheet and get this mining. Be right back. Before I started mining, I just wanted to show you guys what it's doing idling right now. So it's taking about 290 watts at the wall, just sitting here doing nothing. I'm assuming these 140 mil like Delta fans are going to be taking most of the power right now, according to the Space Goat's power meter. Okay, so now let me turn on the flight sheet and all that good stuff. Be right back. Okay, I wanted to show you guys, we're mining Raven coin on these 3060s at about 21 mega hash. This is at stock clocks. I didn't add any overclock or undervolt or anything. This whole rig is taking 252 mega hash and a lot of power at the wall, almost 2,500 watts at the wall at stock clocks, mining Raven coin. The temperatures are getting up there now. Obviously I don't have the cover on, so I'm gonna turn that off, and I wanna mine at the proper numbers here, power consumption and stuff. Give me 1 sec. Okay, I fine-tuned the numbers. We're getting now about 23 mega hash per 3060. at about 127, 128 watts. At the wall, we are at 1830 now. 1,832, 33 watts at the wall. Much better. The temperatures are much better. I guess I gotta try with the lid on. Right now, I don't have it in the optimal place to have to do testing of the cooling, but as you guys know, with server cases, they are definitely much better in terms of temperature because the airflow is a lot more directed through the GPUs when you have a more enclosed space versus a open air frame, right? Where the heat just dissipates everywhere. But in a server case, the airflow with these high-speed Delta fans can just push out the air a lot faster. Alright guys, so just to conclude, this Octominer X12 Ultra server case, 12 GPU server case, I'm gonna have to say, it's awesome. It looks great. I love the presentation of this rig. I love all the internals. I love the HP server PSU and they're hot swappable. I guess I didn't test out the hot swappable capability, but I'm sure it'll be pretty good. I can test that in another video. But I like the back plane as well that holds all the PCIe cables. That's pretty cool. And then just to talk about just some issues, we had to unscrew the back plane just a little bit so that we could push it back in order to put in all the GPUs. It was just a little bit too forward, so it was hitting the PCIe on the GPUs was going over, and so it wasn't fitting right. So that was no problem. The next issue that we had was the USB header that one of the GPUs, I couldn't push it down all the way because it was getting stuck because of that USB header. I was talking with a few people and they said they had the same issue, but they just had to really push down in order to fit the GPU over that USB header. It's just gonna squish it a lot, like all the way down pretty much, and the cables are gonna be quite pinched, which it seems to be no problem. I didn't do it yet, but I'm gonna do it offline on this video. And I'm gonna update you guys on this in another video for sure, because I have to set up 2 more of these Octominer cases that I got more GPUs coming that I want to fit in these cases. So stay tuned for those videos. I'm hoping to do a 12 by 3070 Ti and then a 12 by 6600 XT mining rig. That's going to be really cool in one of these Octominer cases. Okay guys, well I think that's it. Now that the lid's been on for a couple minutes, I just wanted to verify. It looks like, oh yeah, it looks like the temperatures are going up. But I think it's because I don't have this in an optimal place for cooling. The heat is just going straight into the wood back here. So it looks like I'll probably need to move that somewhere over there. And oh man, I need to rearrange my crypto mining basement. I mean, I like the placement where I do all the one line. That's great. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rearrange, maybe move some of my mine boxes to the barn. And yeah, a lot of rearranging to do. Anyways, please let me know your guys' thoughts on this Octominer server case if you guys have had these, and let me know your experience with them. Otherwise, my experience with them is it's pretty good so far, not bad. I do want to try mining Ethereum on these RTX 3060s, which are LHR'd. And thank you so much to Octominer for sending me 3 of these Octominer X12 Ultra server cases. I'm extremely appreciative. Thank you guys for getting back to me. And I mean, I still feel kind of bad that you guys sent them to me for free. I mean, I ultimately wanted to buy like a whole bunch of these, and you know, maybe that might still happen. I mean, I don't think it might not happen anymore, because I'm gonna go with the 12 GPU mining frames. I already bought all those anyway, and I'm gonna do my basement full of them. So we'll see how that goes. I'll decide later if I want to go with more of these. I'm always changing my mind constantly. Okay, my friends, thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Let me know your thoughts, of course, and have a good one, and peace out.